Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare states $quarter coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're diving into a truly fascinating piece of modern American currency, one that might just be sitting in your pocket right now. We're talking about the United States Mount Rushmore quarter. But don't be fooled by its everyday appearance. This coin could be hiding something incredibly valuable. So, stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll find out just how much this seemingly ordinary quarter could actually be worth, and trust me, it's a number you won't believe. So let's talk about the coin itself. The Mount Rushmore quarter is part of the America the Beautiful series, released by the U.S. Mint in 2013. This series was created to celebrate the national parks and historic sites across the country. And what better place to honor than South Dakota's Mount Rushmore, the colossal sculpture featuring the faces of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln carved into granite. It's one of the most iconic symbols of American history and pride. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll find a beautifully detailed depiction of the Mount Rushmore carving process, highlighting the craftsmanship and dedication it took to create such a monumental piece of art. It's not just another quarter, it's a tribute to American vision and determination. And on the obverse, of course, you'll see the familiar portrait of George Washington. Now, here's where things get exciting, because not all Mount Rushmore quarters are created equal. Most are worth just 25 cents. But a small number of them have become incredibly valuable because of unique errors and rare minting characteristics. These special coins are what collectors go absolutely crazy for. Let's talk about what makes some of these quarters worth serious money. First up, double die errors. This is when the coin's design is stamped more than once, slightly misaligned. On the Mount Rushmore quarter, this can create a doubling effect in the details. Look closely at the inscriptions, the letters in United States of America, or even in the fine lines of the sculptor's tools. If you spot a double die, you might be holding something worth way more than pocket change. Next, there are off-center strikes, a minting error where the design is not perfectly centered on the coin. Sometimes, a coin may have a portion of the design missing or shifted, and collectors love these types of mistakes because each one is truly one of a kind. Then we have planchet errors, where the coin blank itself has imperfections before it's struck. Maybe the coin is missing part of the outer rim, or has a clipped edge. These flaws, though unintentional, can make a coin extremely rare. Another rare find is the wrong metal composition. Imagine finding a Mount Rushmore quarter that was mistakenly struck on a blank meant for another coin entirely, such as a nickel or a foreign coin planchet. These kinds of minting mix-ups are ultra rare and can fetch incredible prices, and here's the thing, most people have no idea that these rare versions even exist. They're out there in circulation, hiding in old change jars, tucked into drawers, or forgotten in coin albums. You might even come across one at a flea market or garage sale without realizing what you're holding. Collectors around the world are actively searching for these error coins, and the Mount Rushmore quarter is especially desirable because of its iconic design and the historical importance of what it represents. Not only is it a beautiful tribute to American heritage, but with the right error, it becomes a treasure of modern coin collecting. Now imagine this, you stumble across one of these rare quarters. It looks a little strange, maybe the lettering is off, maybe there's an unusual mark, or it feels just a bit different in your hand. You do a little research, and suddenly, your heart starts racing. Because guess what? You're not holding just 25 cents anymore, you could be holding a coin that collectors have paid as much as $65,000 for. Yes, you heard that right. $65,000. For one single Mount Rushmore quarter with the right rare error in uncirculated condition. It's the kind of coin that turns ordinary people into excited collectors overnight, and it's why checking your change has never been more fun. So the next time you see a Mount Rushmore quarter, don't just toss it aside. Take a closer look. You might be holding a piece of American history, and possibly a fortune in your palm. Top 2, we're diving into a coin that might be resting quietly in your collection, or even rattling around in your car cup holder, but it holds a secret that could shock you. We're talking about the 2001 Vermont State Quarter from the United States of America. At first glance, it looks like just another coin from the 50 State Quarters program. But don't be fooled. Hidden among the millions that were minted, there are a few extremely rare Vermont quarters that collectors are scrambling to find. And if you're lucky enough to spot one, it could change your life in the most unexpected way. Now, before we talk about the coin's value, let's step back and appreciate the story behind it. The Vermont Quarter was released in 2001 as part of the U.S. Mint's wildly popular State Quarter series, a program that ran from 1999 to 2008, honoring each state with its own unique design. Vermont's quarter celebrates the Green Mountain State's natural beauty and history. On the reverse side, you'll see a detailed image of Camel's Hump Mountain and maple trees with sap buckets hanging from them, an homage to Vermont's famous maple syrup industry. Standing in the center is a man collecting the sap, a timeless tradition that reflects the quiet, enduring spirit of the state. It's a beautiful and peaceful design, but as coin collectors know, sometimes the quiet ones hide the biggest surprises. Here's where things start to get exciting. While millions of Vermont quarters were struck for circulation, only a handful were minted with very specific and rare errors that make them incredibly valuable. Let's explore the types of minting mistakes that turn this simple state quarter into a hot item in the coin collecting world. First up is the legendary double die error. This occurs when a coin is struck twice by the same die but with a slight shift between the impressions. If you have a Vermont quarter with doubled lettering, especially in the words United States of America, E pluribus unum, or Vermont 1791, that could be a double die. These are extremely rare and are highly prized by collectors. Next, there's the off-center strike, which happens when the coin is not properly aligned during minting. Some off-center errors are just a few % off, but the most valuable ones show major parts of the design missing or pushed to one side. Imagine having a Vermont quarter with the maple trees or the date partially missing. This isn't damage, it's a factory mistake, and it can multiply the coin's value dramatically. Then we have planchet errors, where the coin blank itself is flawed before it's even struck. These could include clipped planchets, where part of the coin is missing in a crescent shape, or coins that are struck on the wrong metal entirely. There are a few confirmed Vermont quarters that were accidentally struck on planchets meant for foreign coins or other denominations, and those are some of the rarest of the rare. There's also the missing clad layer error. U.S. quarters are made from a copper core sandwiched between two layers of nickel. If one of those outer layers is missing, the coin takes on a dull, coppery appearance and is much lighter than usual. This mistake doesn't happen often, but when it does, collectors are quick to snatch it up. So, what does all of this mean for you? It means that hiding in plain sight, among common coins, there are Vermont quarters with these rare and unusual features. Coins that you might have ignored 100 times before could be worth a small fortune if they have the right characteristics. And the best part? These coins aren't locked away in museums or vaults. They're out there, waiting to be found by someone with a sharp eye and a bit of curiosity. Now, let's talk about why collectors go absolutely wild for these kinds of coins. It's not just the value, it's the thrill of the hunt. Every collector dreams of discovering that one elusive piece that nobody else has. It's the feeling of holding history, a mistake that became a masterpiece. The Vermont quarter, with its elegant design and hidden variations, has become one of those modern treasures that people are always watching for, and now, the moment you've been waiting for. If you happen to come across a 2001 Vermont quarter in perfect uncirculated condition, with a major minting error, like a dramatic double die or an off-metal strike, it might not just be rare. It could be worth as much as $60,000, yes, you heard that right. $60,000. From a single quarter that once cost just 25 cents. So, the next time you get change back at the grocery store, or you're digging through an old coin jar at your grandparents' house, take a closer look. That Vermont quarter might just be more than a piece of spare change, it could be a life-changing discovery. Top 3. This coin may seem like just another state quarter at first glance, but it has a wild side, literally and figuratively. We're talking about the 2007 Montana quarter from the United States of America. This coin has a rugged story, a bold design, and for a very lucky few, a shocking value that could turn a single quarter into a small fortune. So stay with me until the end, because you're not going to want to miss what this coin could actually be worth. Let's start with the basics. The Montana State Quarter was released in 2007 as part of the U.S. Mint's 50 State Quarters program, a historic series that ran from 1999 to 2008. Each coin highlighted the unique history, culture, or natural beauty of one of the 50 U.S. states. Montana, known for its wide open spaces and rugged landscapes, chose an image that perfectly captures its untamed spirit. Take a look at the reverse of the coin, and you'll find a majestic bison skull floating above a sweeping Montana landscape. It's not just striking, it's symbolic. The skull represents Montana's Native American heritage, its connection to the land, and the importance of wildlife in the state's culture. Beneath it, you'll see the phrase, "Big Sky Country," the state's famous nickname, which evokes the endless horizon and breathtaking beauty of Montana's skies. It's bold, haunting, and unforgettable, but what really makes this coin fascinating for collectors isn't just the design, it's the mystery hidden in a tiny number of these quarters. While millions were produced for circulation, only a select few have shown unusual and highly desirable minting errors. And it's these mistakes that have transformed this everyday coin into something truly rare and extremely valuable. Let's break down the types of errors you should be looking for if you want to spot a Montana quarter that could be worth a fortune. First, we have the double die error, one of the most famous and sought-after mistakes in coin collecting. This happens when the die, used to stamp the coin's design, strikes the coin more than once, but slightly off-center. This creates a doubling effect that can often be seen in the lettering, numbers, or detailed parts of the design. On the Montana quarter, collectors have reported doubling in the words, Montana, United States of America, and even in the intricate lines of the bison skull. If you have one of these, don't spend it, you could be holding a hidden gem. Then there's the off-center strike, a favorite among error coin hunters. If the coin wasn't perfectly aligned during the minting process, the design might appear shifted to one side, with part of the image or lettering missing. The more dramatic the shift, the more valuable the coin becomes. Imagine a Montana quarter where half of the bison skull is off the edge. Now that's a collector's dream. Another rare mistake is the wrong planchet error. This occurs when a quarter is struck on a blank meant for a different coin, like a penny or a foreign denomination. These errors are incredibly rare and highly prized because they prove that even the strictest quality control systems can sometimes miss a wild one. That we also have clipped planchets, where a small section of the coin's edge is missing due to a flaw in the blank cutting process. These clips can look like bites taken out of the coin, and if they happen on a Montana quarter, collectors will pay serious attention. And don't forget about missing clad layers, where one of the quarter's nickel outer layers is missing, exposing the copper core underneath. These odd-looking coins can appear dull and discolored, but their value is anything but dull. They're often snapped up quickly when found. So now you're probably wondering, what's the big deal with these rare errors? Why do collectors pay so much for a mistake? The answer is simple: rarity and uniqueness. In a world where billions of coins are perfectly identical, it's the rare errors that stand out. They're like the misprints in the world of stamps or first editions in the world of books. A coin with a clear minting error becomes a conversation piece, a one-of-a-kind artifact, and a hot item in any serious collection. Montana quarters with these rare characteristics are in high demand. Most of them were pulled from circulation long ago, making them even harder to find today. If you happen to discover one in your change, your coin jar, or an old collection you've inherited, you might be sitting on a gold mine and not even know it. So now comes the part you've been waiting for. If you are lucky enough to find a 2007 Montana quarter with a major minting error, such as a dramatic double die, an off-metal strike, or a perfectly preserved uncirculated error, then hold on tight. Because that single quarter could be worth as much as $54,000, yes, you heard that right. $54,000 for a 25-cent coin. All because of a rare mistake and a little bit of history captured in metal. So the next time you go through your loose change or browse coins at a flea market, keep your eyes open. That Montana quarter you nearly overlooked could be hiding a priceless secret. Top 4, we're diving into a quarter that holds more than just historical value. it holds the potential to be a jackpot for collectors. That we're talking about the 2002 United States quarter dollar that commemorates the Louisiana Purchase, featured on the Missouri State Quarter. If you've got one of these in your coin jar, you might want to pay very close attention, because some versions of this coin have been found to be far more valuable than their face value suggests. Now, let's take a closer look at this incredible piece of American coinage. The Missouri State Quarter was released in 2002 as part of the 50 State Quarters program, a series that captured the identity and pride of each U.S. state. For Missouri, the design highlights one of the most significant moments in American expansion, the Lewis and Clark expedition that followed the Louisiana Purchase. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll see the explorers Lewis and Clark paddling a canoe up the Missouri River with the Gateway Arch in the background. The inscription reads, Corps of Discovery 1804 to 1806, celebrating the daring journey that helped shape the nation's future. It's a coin loaded with history, from the Louisiana Purchase itself, an enormous land deal that doubled the size of the U.S., to the exploration that brought the American frontier to life. But here's the twist: while millions of these quarters were minted for circulation, some of them were struck with incredibly rare errors. And it's these rare mistakes that make a few lucky coins worth a fortune. Let's talk about what to look for. One of the most desirable types of coin errors is the double die. This happens during the minting process when the die, the metal stamp that creates the coin's design, imprints the coin more than once, slightly misaligned. The result? Letters and numbers appear doubled, especially in areas like Missouri, United States of America, or the year 2002. These doubling effects are subtle but dramatic, and highly valuable to collectors. Another rare and exciting error is the off-center strike. In this case, the coin blank wasn't properly aligned with the die during minting, causing the design to be shifted or partially missing. Some off-center Missouri quarters show Lewis and Clark's canoe pushed far to one side, with parts of the river scene cut off. These mistakes are instantly recognizable, and incredibly rare. Then, we have the wrong planchet error, when a quarter is mistakenly struck on a coin blank intended for a different denomination, like a penny or even a foreign coin. These mismatched planchets are extremely uncommon, and they always raise eyebrows in the collector world. If you ever find a quarter that seems too light, the wrong color, or sounds off when dropped, you might be looking at a wrong planchet error. There are also clipped planchets, where a chunk of the coin is missing from the edge, almost like someone took a bite out of it. But it's not damage, it's a rare flaw that happened at the mint. Collectors love these because each one is unique. And finally, we have the missing clad layer error, where one of the coin's nickel layers is absent, exposing the copper core underneath. These coins look odd, duller in color, lighter in weight, but they can be incredibly valuable. Now imagine combining one or more of these errors with a coin that's still in uncirculated condition, shiny, flawless, and looking just as it did the day it left the mint. That's the kind of coin that makes collectors stop in their tracks. And here's the best part: these rare coins are out there. They weren't locked in a vault or hidden in a museum, they were sent into circulation like every other coin. Which means they could be in someone's change drawer, coin jar, or even in your hands right now. So why do collectors go crazy for these rare coins? It's the thrill of the unknown. The hunt. The possibility that tucked inside a roll of quarters is a rare error coin that no one else has noticed. A coin that stands out in a sea of millions. It's not just about the money, it's about the story, the rarity, and the satisfaction of finding something truly special. And now, for the moment you've been waiting for. If you happen to discover a 2002 Missouri quarter with a major minting error, like a strong double die, an off-metal strike, or a rare misalignment, and it's in pristine, uncirculated condition, you could be looking at a collector's dream. That single coin could be worth as much as $57,000, yes, you heard that. Right. A small, everyday quarter with a hidden error could be worth $57,000. That's why checking your change just might be the smartest thing you do all day. So before you spend that shiny 2002 quarter, take a good, close look. Because what you thought was 25 cents could actually be a rare piece of American history, and a small fortune in disguise. Top 5, we're taking a closer look at a coin that's often overlooked, but could actually be a hidden goldmine. We're talking about a piece of American change that's not only beautiful to look at, but for a few lucky collectors, it's been life-changing. That's right, today we're zooming in on the 1999 Connecticut state quarter from the United States of America. And trust me, by the time we reach the end of this video, you might just be turning your couch cushions upside down or digging into your old piggy bank. So, what's so special about this quarter? Let's start with the design. The Connecticut quarter was released in 1999 as part of the U.S. Mint's legendary 50 State Quarters program, one of the most collected coin series in American history. Each state got its own unique design, and Connecticut chose to honor something truly iconic, the Charter Oak. Now, if you're not familiar with the Charter Oak, it's more than just a tree. It's a symbol of American freedom and resistance. According to legend, in the late 1600s, colonists in Connecticut hid their royal charter inside the hollow of this giant white oak tree to prevent it from being taken by British authorities. That act of defiance became a story passed down through generations, and the tree eventually became a symbol of independence and identity. So, when you look at the reverse side of the 1999 Connecticut quarter, you're not just seeing a tree, you're seeing a piece of American spirit, deeply rooted in history. But let's be honest, you're here because you want to know one thing: could this coin be worth a fortune? The answer? Yes, under very specific conditions. You see, while millions of these quarters were produced for circulation, only a very small number contain rare minting errors that make them incredibly valuable to collectors. And when we say rare, we mean the kind of rare that turns heads at auctions and gets people digging through their change. Let's talk about what makes these coins so valuable. First, we have the double die error, a true favorite among coin collectors. This happens when the coin is struck twice with a slight misalignment, causing a doubling effect in the lettering or imagery. If you see any unusual doubling in the words Connecticut, United States of America, or 1999, don't overlook it. It could be a major sign that you're holding something special. Then there's the off-center strike. These coins are visibly misaligned. Sometimes the tree is shifted to the side, or part of the design is missing altogether. The more off-center the strike, the more valuable the coin tends to be. Collectors go crazy for these unique and imperfect pieces. Another rare error is the wrong planchet strike. This is when a quarter is accidentally struck on a coin blank meant for a different denomination or even a different country. Imagine finding a Connecticut quarter that looks thinner, darker, or has a strange ring to it when dropped. That could be your jackpot. There's also the missing clad layer error. U.S. quarters are normally composed of a copper core with outer layers of nickel. But once in a while, a coin is struck missing one of those outer layers, exposing the raw copper underneath. These coins are often dull in color, lighter in weight, and extremely rare. Let's not forget about clipped planchets, coins that have a clean, crescent-shaped piece missing from the edge. It may look like damage, but if it's a clean, curved clip, you might be looking at a legitimate mint error worth serious cash. So, what do all these errors have in common? They weren't supposed to happen. And that's exactly what makes them valuable. In a system designed for perfection, flaws become gold mines. These error coins are 1 in a million, or even rarer, and when combined with historical importance and a beautiful design like the Charter Oak, it's no wonder collectors are constantly hunting for them. And here's the best part: these coins are not locked away in museums. They were released into circulation. That means they could be hiding anywhere: coin rolls, pocket change, garage sales, flea markets, or even that old coffee can full of quarters your grandfather forgot about. Now imagine finding one of these rare Connecticut quarters in uncirculated condition, shiny, untouched, and with a rare error that turns it from pocket change into a collector's prize. Are you ready for this? Because if you discover one of these rare 1999 Connecticut quarters with a significant mint error, like a strong double die or wrong planchet, and it's in pristine, uncirculated condition, it could be worth as much as $69,000. Yes. $69,000, just think about that. A coin you could have received in change at a grocery store, now potentially worth more than a luxury car, all because of a rare and beautiful mistake. So, before you spend that quarter or toss it in a tip jar, take a second look. You might be holding something far more valuable than 25 cents. You might be holding a piece of history, and maybe, just maybe, a small fortune. Top 6, we're diving deep into a quarter that might just be hiding a fortune in your pocket. This isn't just any coin, it's the 2000 Maryland State Quarter, and if you think all quarters are worth just 25 cents, think again. Stick with me because by the end of this video, you'll know why this particular quarter could be a game changer for collectors around the world. The Maryland Quarter was released as part of the famous 50-state quarter series, celebrating each state's unique history and heritage. Maryland's design features the Maryland State House, the nation's oldest state capitol still in continuous legislative use, along with the Calvert family coat of arms, a nod to the state's founding family. It's a beautiful coin that reflects Maryland's rich history and significance in American heritage, but what makes the 2000 Maryland Quarter truly special isn't just the design, it's the rare errors and unique characteristics that can make some of these coins extremely valuable. Now, you might be wondering, what kind of errors are we talking about? One of the most prized mistakes among collectors is the double die error. This occurs during the minting process when the coin is struck twice with a slight misalignment, causing certain elements, like letters or numbers, to appear doubled. For the Maryland Quarter, doubling can sometimes be seen in the words Maryland, Liberty, or the year 2000. These subtle but unmistakable doubling effects are a gold mine for collectors and can significantly boost a coin's value. Another rare and exciting error is the off-center strike. Imagine the State House and the coat of arms being shifted or partially missing because the coin blank wasn't perfectly aligned during minting. These off-center strikes come in varying degrees, but the more off-center the design, the more prized the coin becomes. It's like having a one-of-a-kind piece, born from a minting mishap that collectors absolutely love. There's also the intriguing missing clad layer error. Normally, quarters are made with a copper core sandwiched between layers of nickel. Sometimes, one of these layers is missing, exposing the copper underneath. These coins look unusual, often duller and lighter, but because they're so rare, they can command big prices. Then, we have the clipped planchet error, where a clean curve is missing from the coin's edge. It's not damage, it's a minting mistake, and these clipped coins are sought after because each clip is unique and impossible to replicate. So why are collectors so fascinated with these errors? Because they are accidental treasures, rare deviations in an otherwise perfect system. They tell a story of a moment when something went wrong, but instead of ruining the coin, it made it one of a kind. Now, imagine finding one of these error coins in uncirculated condition. That's where the real magic happens. Uncirculated coins haven't been worn down by handling or circulation. They maintain their original luster and detail, and when combined with an error, they become a top prize for collectors. Here's the exciting part. If you have a 2000 Maryland Quarter with one of these major mint errors, and it's in excellent, uncirculated condition, you could be sitting on a coin worth as much as $52,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single quarter, initially worth just 25 cents, could be worth $52,000 today. So next time you're sorting through your change, pay special attention to the Maryland Quarters. Look closely for doubled letters, off-center designs, clipped edges, or any odd coloration. Because you might just find a rare mint error that turns your ordinary pocket change into an extraordinary treasure. Top 7 and last coin, we're diving into a coin that many might overlook but could be a true jackpot for collectors. We're talking about the 2002 Mississippi State Quarter, a coin that not only celebrates a rich heritage but also hides some incredibly rare and valuable secrets beneath its surface. So if you love the thrill of the hunt and the excitement of uncovering hidden treasures, listen up closely, because this one might just blow your mind. The Mississippi Quarter was released as part of the famous 50-state quarters program, a series that captured the unique spirit and history of every state in America. Mississippi's coin features the magnolia blossom, the state flower, surrounded by the inscription, "The Magnolia State," and the year 2002. Simple yet elegant, it's a design that reflects the beauty and pride of the state. But here's where it gets fascinating. While millions of these quarters were minted and circulated, only a very few carry the kind of minting errors that can skyrocket their value. These errors are the holy grail for coin collectors, and they're what makes some Mississippi quarters truly priceless. One of the most sought-after errors is the double die, a minting mistake where the coin is struck twice, slightly off alignment, creating a doubled image or lettering effect. If you look closely at some 2002 Mississippi quarters, you might see doubling on the words Mississippi, Liberty, or even the date. This subtle doubling is incredibly rare and can boost a coin's value exponentially. Another eye-catching error is the off-center strike. Imagine the magnolia blossom pushed to one side, with parts of the coin's design missing or cut off because the coin blank wasn't perfectly centered during striking. The more off-center the strike, the more valuable the coin becomes. Collectors prize these imperfect gems because each one is unique and tells a story of a minting slip-up that became a rare treasure. Then there's the missing clad layer error. U.S. quarters are made with a copper core sandwiched between layers of nickel, but sometimes, a layer is missing, revealing the copper underneath. These coins often look different in color and weight and are instantly recognizable as rare errors. Clipped planchets are also a favorite, coins where a curved section is missing from the edge, making them stand out from the crowd. Unlike damage, clipped planchets are genuine mint errors and highly prized by collectors. Why all this fuss about errors? Because these quirks turn a common quarter into a one-of-a-kind collectible. In a world of millions of coins, these rare mistakes create a scarce supply that collectors chase after endlessly. Now, here's the kicker. If you happen to have a 2002 Mississippi quarter with one of these major errors, especially in uncirculated condition, it could be worth an astounding $59,000. That's right. A coin you might casually find in your change could hold a fortune worth nearly $60,000, so, next time you pick up a Mississippi quarter, examine it closely. Look for any signs of doubling, misalignment, unusual colors, or clipped edges. You might just be holding a valuable piece of American history, and a potentially life-changing treasure. If you found this video exciting and want to keep exploring the fascinating world of rare coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. There's a whole universe of hidden gems waiting to be discovered, and we're just getting started. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting.